Hello, and welcome back to the Picture Show. I am your ghost host, Bryn, haunting solo on today's mini episode, here to talk about the new Beetlejuice, the long awaited sequel to Tim Burton's 1988 occult classic of the singular moniker. This is your disclaimer. If you have not yet slithered your way to the theater for this movie, I highly suggest you skip today's episode as it is full of spoilers. That is your one and final warning. I am not responsible for ruining your movie-going experience from here on out. Beetlejuice picks up the story of Lydia Dietz, the strange and unusual main character from the first movie, as she navigates life as a widowed mother of a teenager played by Jenna Ortega. She has made her name by use of her ghost-seeing talent starring in a paranormal TV reality show. We quickly discover that she and her daughter Astrid have a tense relationship from losing Lydia's husband to an expedition accident. Early on, it is also revealed that Charles Dietz has suddenly died in a plane crash, a creative plot maneuver to eliminate Jeffrey Jones's return to the franchise. Much of the anticipation of the sequel was the confirmed reprise of many of the characters played by the original actors. However, following Jeffrey Jones's arrest in 2003, where he was discovered to be a disgusting piece of shit, you can research that one on your own if you are not familiar. The creators of Beetlejuice had to figure out a way around his character's return. Although the character is seen in the purgatory world, you never see his face. I thought this was a very clever way around the issue and that Tim Burton handled it very well. This doesn't stop the return of most of the remaining cast members, as Charles's funeral brings Lydia and Astrid together with the eccentrically grieving Delia Dietz, back at the original house on the hill as they begin to sort Charles's affairs. When Astrid meets a ghost boy who tricks her into trading her soul for his and plunges her into purgatory, Lydia is forced to face her literal demon and summon Beetlejuice from his resting place. Meanwhile, Beetlejuice is trying to escape a demon of his own, his ex-wife, Dolores. Chaos and hilarity ensue as they try to save Astrid and get rid of Dolores. So to cut right to it, what did I like and what did I not so much care for about this sequel? What I did like is that it was nostalgic without being repetitive. They played the Banana Boat, or better known as the Day-O song, in the beginning during the funeral, and I believe again towards the end of the movie. So that was a very fun audio callback to the original. They kept the sandworm animation style almost exactly the same. It moved more smoothly with the development of animation technology, but it kept that same claymation style that Tim Burton is known for in many of his other films. The house was cast in a shroud, and it was an artistic representation of mourning by Delia, and it remained reminiscent of the first movie, but took away the need for it to look exactly the same. Things like recreating the Red Bridge made it feel reminiscent, but wasn't relied on to carry the film. The Purgatory waiting room looked and felt the exact same way. Just little details that I was looking for going into it, and I was so pleased to see. Jeremy Fraser, the ghost boy, as a way to bring Astrid into purgatory was, I thought, a creative plotline. I really enjoyed that. The Soul Train, not a whole lot to say there, but I really enjoyed that addition. I thought it was fun. Danny DeVito, period. His cameo is just a nice little treat. I always love seeing him. Willem Dafoe was a really fun addition as well. He played the dead actor detective Wolf Jackson. Some of the funniest parts of the movie came from this character and broke up the nostalgia in a really fresh, fun, and still very fitting to Beetlejuice way. Speaking of Beetlejuice, Michael Keaton, of course. Just the consistency in his performance was incredible. Over 30 years later, it's like he stepped from the first into the second immediately, flawless, and it's just proof that he is the one and only Beetlejuice. That being said, there were some things that I didn't so much care for. I try to tamper my expectations with sequels, especially ones so far apart in release date. I don't expect or want the same movie twice, but I do want enough nods to the original that had made it a classic to begin with, that same feeling is carried on in the second. With that in mind, here's what I didn't care for. I don't think this is going to be an unpopular opinion because I've heard this echoed in a lot of the reviews that I've seen from other people that I know going to see this movie. I thought Dolores' whole character was entirely unnecessary. Dolores is Beetlejuice's ex-wife, and she comes back to get revenge on him. I thought her character was completely unnecessary, and the movie would have progressed as well, if not better, if she was removed entirely from the script. It's not that it was a bad performance, but the character itself was entirely unnecessary. It was distracting when her scenes were happening and honestly forgettable every time she wasn't on screen. Just not an impactful character. On that same note, Rory, Lydia's fiance by coercion, completely an unnecessary character as well. His way of influencing her didn't match her character's backstory in any way, shape, or form. It just did not add to any of it. And again, in a similar theme, Lydia Dietz's character was not consistent with the original. She aged into this timid, anxious woman, overly concerned with everyone else's thoughts of her, which is the complete opposite of this bold and confidently different outsider that she was as a teenager. It was a disservice to her character, who didn't need to step outside of herself and prove that sort of growth in a sequel. I feel like they really shadow Winona Ryder's performance by turning her character into this. It was just not necessary, and I was a little disappointed by that. Demon Baby Beetlejuice was not gross in the fun sort of Beetlejuice way that makes you like cringe, but like it's funny. It was just gross. It just period. It didn't do anything for me. Just another unnecessary addition solely included for reaction purposes. I'm thankful that they didn't try to cram too many references from the first movie in, but there were times that I still felt they were doing too much. Less is more with sequels. Overall, I would rate this movie probably about a 3 out of 5. I was largely satisfied with it as a sequel to one of my favorite and most formative movies of all time. Honestly, over time, that rating might go down. Some of the aforementioned dislikes really, unfortunately, took away from the movie. But overall, I was so happy to return to Winter River and revisit our old mischievous demon, Beetlejuice. Thanks for joining me for today's quick mini episode. What did you think of the movie? Did it tickle your nostalgia bone? Let me know in the comments. In the meantime, I will see you in the next episode. Don't forget to watch a good movie and tell your friends about it. I'll see you next time with Noah. Bye!